Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, hey, Renee Box Young, a platform where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, simply talk about sport of boxing in a level-headed, coherent, mature fashion. You know how we do it here, man. Hey, subscribers since day one, recent subscribers, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much, man, for tuning into the Flash Lives, the live sessions. Playback family, salute. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for commenting in the comment sections of the video. It's the cool feature recently on YouTube that I got in the channel. The community tab or whatever they call it, right? The post there, people collaborating, family collaborating, and commenting there as well. Thank you guys so much, man. You guys are awesome, you know what I'm saying? I want to get right to this, man. Kind of my post-fight reaction, just analyzing, generally speaking, on what's next for Shakur Stevenson post. Herring fight, great fight. Herring, salute to him, hats off to him. He put up a fight, you know what I'm saying? He did his best, but skills pay the bills. Amazing performance. I have to say this first and foremost, and I'm sure the world, I can't find the words. I enjoyed every single round. On the lead up to the fight, I personally thought it was going to be like a chess match, but my gosh, first round, Shakur just coming in, starting to just punch away at, Herring in a really skilled, methodical fashion, man. He brought and the beautiful thing about what Shakur Stevenson did that night, man, he stood his ground, standing in the middle of the ring, wasn't backing up, and he just, fought on the inside beautifully. Towards halfway through the fight, if you remember, there was a lot of clinching. It seemed like it was on the part of Herring, he was trying to clinch up a lot and try to fight on the inside, and Shakur Stevenson finding, open areas, throwing some nice shots on the inside throughout the fight, man, while they were clinching, while they were getting kind of dirty in the fight, Shakur finding his way with his high IQ and skill, finding his way around, punching, Herring on the inside during the clinch. It was just beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. All around, wonderful skills. If I'm not mistaken, Timothy Bradley talked about something like, it looked like it reminded him of Mayweather versus Gotti or something like that. I think that dude's name was Gotti a long time ago. But, I mean, to me, speaking of, I guess, recent examples, I guess we could say recent, because when you go to Mayweather and Gotti, that was a long time ago. I was a kid when that happened. I didn't even watch that one. But I obviously watched it in replays and things of that nature a long time ago. But, to me, this Shakur Stevenson fight versus Herring, I mean, it kind of reminded me. I'm not saying that Shakur's Floyd Mayweather. No. I'm not saying he's the next Floyd Mayweather. No. I don't do that stuff, okay? I don't say that about fighters. I mean, there's only one Floyd Mayweather. There's only one Oscar Valdez. There's only one Canelo, etc., etc. There's only one Tyson Fury. There's only one Wilder. There's only one of each fighter, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm kind of... These fighters out there sometimes that try to imitate Floyd Mayweather style and stuff like that, it doesn't necessarily work all the time, okay? But, I mean, obviously it helps, but, whatever. But I'm not saying... just to clarify, I'm not saying Shakur is the next Floyd. No. I'm just saying that this kind of reminded me of, the Shakur Stevenson performance against Herring, man. Just beautiful. Picking apart Herring, man. Anyway, wonderful hooks, wonderful jabs, going to the body, right hooks. I mean, even though he's a southpaw, throwing some nice right hooks out of nowhere. Oh, my gosh. Just beautiful, man. It kind of reminded me of what Floyd Mayweather was doing to Canelo. Just picking him apart, man. Having fun in that ring. That was, first round, ladies and gentlemen. First round, I was just enjoying every second. I really was, man. Last minute, chit-chatting with my guy, LeVar Cooper. Shouts out to my guy, you know what I'm saying? We instant message each other and fight sometimes. And I said, last minute, man, right before the fight, when they were doing the ring walks, as a matter of fact, or before that, I said, I don't see Herring winning, man. I just don't. That was kind of my last minute conclusion. It was my last minute conclusion, man. Obviously we went live a few days before, I don't remember, a couple days before or something like that. And we did a live session talking about Herring and Shakur and other things. And saying like what I was saying earlier, just to reiterate that, I thought it was going to be a chess match. I thought that, it was going to be a chess match from round 1 to 12, and it was kind of going to be lackluster. But Shakur proved the world wrong. And I think a lot has to do with, the criticism that Shakur Stevenson received when he fought Nakatili. I mean, that Nakatili fight, obviously Shakur, very skilled. If I'm not mistaken, won most rounds, if not all the rounds. But to me, in my post-fight reaction, I think he should have mixed the offense up more. He definitely should have, man. That was my humble opinion. And other people out there in the community, fans out there, really criticized Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson felt it. I've said it time and time again, ladies and gentlemen. whether we think or not, you know what I'm saying? I mean, fighters, they're paying attention on what people are saying. You know, they're definitely paying attention on what journalists are saying, writers are saying, boxing writers, and general boxing fans. They're definitely listening. They got an ear out, you know what I'm saying? They're on social media. A lot of these fighters are on social media just as much as most of these people are, everybody else out there, you know what I'm saying? And they know what's going on, and Shakur Stevenson has responded, as I mentioned several times. You know, Shakur Stevenson has responded to, you know, critics after the Nakatili fight, you know what I'm saying? And he just had that fire in him, man. And that's what I'm saying. I think a lot had to do with that, which is why we saw that performance from Shakur Stevenson against Herring. It was just beautiful, man. Beautiful. I loved what I saw every second. I was enjoying every second, man, because this is exactly what I want to see with fighters who have a high IQ. And that was my complaint with, and I know it's controversial, but whatever. That was my complaint with Rigondeaux and his performance against Casemiro. The skill that Rigondeaux has, he should have mixed up the offense more. You know what I'm saying? He definitely should have. He has the ability to do it, but he just didn't do it. And that's what really, you know, I don't really like that, man. I don't like watching that. I don't like watching that in fighters, especially when they have the talent to do it. You know what I'm saying? Shakur definitely showed up and showed out, man. Just A+ game, ladies and gentlemen. That he was on his A game every round. Herring was fighting back. Obviously, Herring was landing some nice shots too, but he just didn't cut it. Didn't cut it at all. And knew. Now, what I like about Shakur Stevenson, man, he ain't. I guess we can say ducking the smoke, right? He ain't backing off from anybody. He wants to fight the top out there. Obviously, at 130, I'm sure you know who the top is, right? You got Oscar Valdez, WBC champ, calling out Oscar Valdez. Ben calling him out. Valdez, it seems like he hasn't been too vocal on fighting Shakur Stevenson. I'm sure he has mentioned his name here and there from time to time, but Shakur is quite aggressive in calling out Valdez. You know, in the press conference, post-press, he was talking about that, and he said, you know, I don't want. In other words, I'm paraphrasing what Shakur said, but I like what he said. I like what he said in the post-fight press conference, and it's interesting because what caught my attention. Let me just add this in here real quick. You know, backstage, beautiful sportsmanship from both sides, man. After Shakur, I mean, this was class in session, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm gonna be doing a series, man, class in session series. I gotta probably make a playlist on this because my last class in session video, my first one of this series, let's just do a series. I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna make a playlist on class in session series, man. Was Usyk versus Anthony Joshua. I did that, and you know, I'm using the similar thumbnail but different faces and heads. You know what I'm saying? This was a class in session, ladies and gentlemen. This is just, man, wow. And after, I love the sportsmanship, man. They showed each other love, and it's a trip because you know, it just caught my attention before I get to the post-fight press conference. What Shakur Stevenson was saying, I'm sure you heard it, but I'm just want to highlight a couple things that I really liked what Shakur said. You know, it's funny because when they went backstage or whatever, the locker rooms or whatever, you know, Shakur Stevenson approached, you know, Herring again and gave him his props, man, and, you know, apologized to, I think it was his wife. I really don't know Herring, his family. I don't know his personal life, man, but from what I know, the person that was, the lady who was standing on his left, the queen that was standing to his left was his wife, I think. And I think some harsh words were said, you know, back and forth and lead up to the press conference, but, you know, she was mad, you know. And I think it's cool, man. Come on now. I think it's awesome. You can just see so. I've been saying it for a minute, ladies and gentlemen, concerning Shakur Stevenson when I talk about him. I've been saying it for a long time, man, that Shakur Stevenson, he has really matured. Come on now. Let's give props to Shakur, man. You know what I'm saying? The world has to give him his props, you know. And that's the sad thing. I've said it so many times that people don't really pay attention to these divisions. It's sad. It sucks. There's so much talent down here. You know, 130, 126, 135. You know, there's so much talent down here. And this has to be highlighted. You know, Shakur Stevenson, he's really grown. He's really matured. Has really matured. You know, and why am I saying this? Because when he was back, you know, in the locker room or whatever, I guess whoever that lady was, man, all due respect, blessings to her. She, you know, Shakur, he diverted his attention to her, and he said, "Hey, sorry, I'm sorry. I know you're mad at me." He said something like that. "I know you're mad at me, but hey, I'm sorry." He apologized, man. He said, "I apologize." You know, he's the bigger man there, you know, humbling himself and just, you know, asking for apologies. That's awesome. I mean, that's cool. But she was mad. She didn't even respond to him. She was just looked at him and looked away, and ouch, man, ouch. But I like the sportsmanship from both sides, you know what I'm saying, definitely. And, you know, what I really like what Shakur Stevenson said in the post-fight press conference, man, was about calling out Valdez, man. He wants to fight him. And he said, if this Valdez fight doesn't happen next, man, it's going to be Bob protecting him. Wow. I mean, I don't know what you all think, but, you know, I don't know, man. I want to see this fight. I was tuning into another live session, you know, another boxing channel that's all in Spanish, Mexican channel, you know what I'm saying, down here in Mexico. Because I listen to all platforms. Man. You know, I really don't care what community they're from. If they love the sport of boxing, sometimes I tune in, man. Sometimes I chat away. You know, it even makes it weird for other people. Hey, what are you doing here? What do you mean I love the sport of boxing? Okay. Whatever. You know, I don't do that discriminating stuff. I don't care where you're from, who you are, you know what I'm saying? As long as you love the sport of boxing and, you know, speak it legitly, coherently, hey, we're family, you know what I'm saying? I rock with those who rock with me. It's simple as that. And I was tuning into this channel. And I said in that, and you know, they were talking about different topics, and they were talking about Shakur Stevenson and Herring. You know, they were talking about Shakur and Valdez. You know, and I said, and I put there in the chat in Spanish. Obviously, I said, you know, something tells me Shakur and Valdez is not going to happen next. It's not going to happen soon. And you know, and the host there of the channel, he said, you know, he read my comment and he said, you heard it here first. You know, referring to my comment. So that's just me. I think that Shakur Stevenson and Valdez is not going to happen anytime soon, man. I got to give my props to Bob Arum, though, man. I definitely do. He has been making some great fights in Top Rank. I haven't been really once complaining concerning Top Rank's cards. I think that, you know, all these you know, promotional companies, whatever you want to call them, man. I mean, I guess PBC is a platform and it's not a, I don't know, man. Whatever they call it, you know, Al Heyman, an advisor, not a promoter, whatever. All the, you know, PBC, The Zone, and all these, I mean, there are some cards that are very legit, man. Very nice cards. And others are not so nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one to complain. And I think that Top Rank, they have been pushing some really nice cards since the pandemic, man. Since boxing has been back. Man. You know what I'm saying? From the pandemic, Top Rank has been one of the first to go out there and, you know, put some cards together. And they've been putting out some nice cards, man. I'm not saying that every single card is amazing, but, you know, I just appreciate what they do, you know. But, however, why am I saying this? I'm saying this because of this, man. I mean, and another thing, I really hope that happens. Talking about that note on Top Rank, you know, Tio Cambo, if they get that out the way, I hope they do Tio Haney. I really don't see that happening either. Obviously, we know that Tio is going to fight Cambo. He's going to get him out the way. Apparently, it's not official yet from what I understand. Jojo Diaz and Devin Haney in December. You know, get these guys out the way. If they win, early next year, hopefully, we get Teofimo versus Haney. But I think that's kind of fantasy stuff right now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think that's going to happen soon either. I don't think Shakur Stevenson and Valdez is going to happen anytime soon. But I got to say this, man. Okay? If Bob Arum makes Teofimo versus Lomachenko rematch, I think that would be awesome. I wouldn't complain about it, man. Heck no. And I think Bob has something under his sleeve, man, for Tio. See it, whether you look at it as a good way or a bad way. Whether you look at it as, because there's a lot of people thinking out there, you know, they're thinking and saying that, you know, Bob Arum wants to take Tio down because of what happened with Triller, blah, blah, blah. The beef that they had, blah, blah, blah. You know, I think Bob has something up his sleeve for Teofimo, man. And I'm not so sure if it's going to be Josh Taylor, though. I'm not so sure. Because Taylor, you know, there's other things there with him. But, you know, I don't want to make another... That's another video, you know what I'm saying? And I've been talking about that in my channel. But, you know, Shakur Stevenson, man, and Valdez, that's one of the fights I don't think is going to happen next, man. It's not going to happen. I really doubt for 2022, man. I really doubt it. But I wouldn't be surprised if it did, because of what I'm saying a moment ago. Bob has been putting up some nice fights, man. So if we get to the rankings here, man, just check out the rankings. Let's just check it out. Let's just check out the possible opponents here. You know, for Shakur Stevenson, super featherweight right here, 130. You know, box.live.com, link in the description. Yeah, you check it out. So we got here, you know, you got Colbert, you got Stevenson, you got Foster. You know, some really skilled guys. You know, these other guys, I'm not the best. You know, Burchell, obviously. Burchell. You know what I'm saying? So you got these guys in the rankings. I'm assuming this might happen next. Okay, I got to make this clear, man. I'm not no freaking expert with these rankings. I only look at them to look at the names and who's up there. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really trust the rankings all the time. you know my perspective on that. Why? Because out of nowhere, I don't want to make that's another video, but sometimes out of nowhere, a guy has been out for 2 years. For example, Andre Berto, who was supposedly, you know, scheduled to fight or in talks or negotiations or being considered at least to fight Ugas some time ago. All of a sudden ranked in the top 10 or something like that, and whatever rankings, I think it was a WBA, then and Andre Berto pulled out of negotiations for whatever the heck reason he did. But the point in this is this: WBA, they all of a sudden magically put Andre Berto in the top 10, just out of nowhere. So, you know, and they do that time and time again. These freaking sanctioning bodies do it time and time again. I can care less about it, you know what I'm saying? But that's why I don't really pay attention too much. But I just do it for the names and see who's up there. I'm not the best in predicting who's going to fight next. I really don't freaking know that stuff. That's just too confusing for me, and I can care less about it. But we got here this guy, number 1. I cannot pronounce his name, and I've been saying it so many times also. I'm horrible with these names, man. I just suck at these. Muhammad Rakashuva Hakubov. Okay, sorry, but that dude's number 1 for the WBO to defend. You see, the number 1 contender, whatever you call it, challenger, you know, to fight Shakur Stevenson, for Shakur to defend that WBO. So it's a possibility, ladies and gentlemen, that we might see this guy, Muhammad Rakashuva Yakubov. Okay, sorry, man, I'm just bad with names. Okay, it might be that this guy, they'll put him to, you know, against Shakur Stevenson, for Shakur Stevenson to defend that title. You know, you got Rakimov, you know, I think if I'm not mistaken, that dude fought Jojo Diaz, if I'm not mistaken, one of his recent fights. He can fight, he's all right, you know, he's tough. But you got, you know, Albert Bell, shouts out to my guy right there. Interviewed him some time ago, you know, on my channel, some time ago. Check that interview out. Albert Bell, my guy, is right there. He's gonna fight in Arizona soon, if I'm not mistaken. I think he already did fight. I'm not sure. I just didn't check the date. You got Tevin Farmer here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you got some names. Why am I showing you this? Because you got some names at 130, ladies and gentlemen, that really can mix it up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm showing you this because I don't think Oscar Valdez and Shakur is going to happen next. And look at these names. You got some talent, ladies and gentlemen. Tevin Farmer. Now, the thing here with Tevin Farmer, what the heck's going on with him? I've said it time and time again also, man, when it comes to Tevin Farmer talk, but I really don't talk about him anyways because where is he? What's he doing? He's just gone. I mean, he's just out of here. He's just disappeared ever since he lost against, you know, Jojo Diaz. So who knows what's going on with Tevin Farmer. Wish the best for the dude, but, you know, all these layoffs, ladies and gentlemen, they're coming and biting you in the behind. What happened to Mikey Garcia? I mean, you know, there are several examples out there where these guys take these freaking long layoffs and, you know, you're gonna get a you know, bit in the behind because of that. You know, Jarrett Hurd lost to ADS, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, he had a big layoff too. I mean, you just, you know, it's just, you know, I just don't like these big layoffs, man. It just sucks. But whatever. Tevin Farmer's right there, you know what I'm saying? So you got some really good names, man. Oshaki Foster, like we just saw up here, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, Burchell, you got Valdez, Roger Gutierrez, all right? Colbert, you know, we saw him up here, his face right there. I think Colbert's going to fight soon. So, I mean, you got some decent names, ladies and gentlemen. But, you know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's not official, obviously, but the way things boxing is, the way things happen in the sport of boxing, I just kind of doubt Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson's going to be next, man. You know, and what I love what Shakur Stevenson said in the post press. He wants Valdez. He really wants to fight him. The question is this, man. Does Oscar Valdez really want to fight him now after seeing this Herring performance? After seeing how he performed on Herring? Excuse me? I don't know, man. I'm not saying Oscar's scared. No, I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying, you know. After seeing that performance, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, Shakur Stevenson is a force to be reckoned with. And I talked about Shakur. I've mentioned this live session I pushed, you know, before my channel started really growing. It's not like it's really big anyways, but it's getting there. But it was a while ago. I forgot which video it was. It was a live session I did. It's in the channel. I think it was called Race Wars in Boxing. I think it was a live session that I threw and talked about that. I just don't remember exactly. And in that video, in that session, sorry, I talked about, if I'm not mistaken, I talked about Clarissa Shields. I talked about, at that time, she was fighting Hammer. I think it was post-fight. I just don't remember. Clarissa Shields versus Hammer. It was that long ago, you see? And in that live session, I talked about prospects in the latter half of that live session. And I mentioned Shakur Stevenson. And I've been talking, the reason why I say this is because I've been talking about and I've been mentioning, and I had my eye on Shakur Stevenson for a minute. And Shakur Stevenson, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is one of the most amazing performances I have seen from Shakur Stevenson now in his career. I've been following him for a minute, and in that session also I talked about Ennis. I talked about, prospects out there. At the time, there were prospects. Teofimo, he wasn't a champ at that time. Definitely not. I was talking about Tank Davis, and I was saying that, I think I remember, if I remember correctly, I mentioned Shakur Stevenson also. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out for Shakur at 130. Watch out for Shakur at 130. What would be better for Shakur Stevenson to unify against Valdez? Oh my gosh, this would be a beautiful fight. This would be a beautiful fight. Valdez is no pushover. He's a warrior. I have given so much props to Valdez too. And I'm not talking about the drug stuff, him popping dirty. I didn't like that, man. But generally speaking, man, before that whole stuff, controversial thing, and that fight with Conseco, whatever. I don't even consider that fight, honestly. That's just me. If you want to consider that fight with him and Conseco, whatever, that's your thing, that's fine. That's cool. That's, everybody has their thing, you know what I'm saying? But I really don't care about that fight that he had against Conseco because of the whole thing. It seemed like, it just messed it up. That whole methamphetamine, whatever the heck that drug was called, I don't know. I don't care. I'm not a scientist, but I don't think that was cool. But it is what it is, what it is. I have given Oscar Valdez, ladies and gentlemen, so much props, man. So much props. So outside of that whole popping dirty stuff, Oscar Valdez is no pushover either, ladies and gentlemen. And for them to unify would be amazing. But what is Bob Arum going to most likely do, ladies and gentlemen? Milk it. They're both under Top Rank. I don't think Shakur Stevenson is a free agent from what I understand. Milk it, man. I mean, that's, you already know the name of the game with these promoters, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to potential amazing fights, they're going to milk it, man. I think Shakur Stevenson and Valdez is going to be milked. I just don't think they're going to fight soon, man. I don't think they're going to fight in 2022. On the flip side, if they do make this fight, man, if Bob Arum, mixes it up, man. But I just most likely think it's going to be Shakur Stevenson defending that title against that guy whose name I can't pronounce. It's going to be something like that, most likely. But who knows, right? Who the heck am I? I suck at the prediction stuff sometimes. Whatever. Other channels do it amazingly, and they're never wrong. So they claim it. They're never wrong, but whatever. So what do you think, man? What do you think is next for Shakur? Who do you think he should fight next? In the post-fight press conference also, as I said earlier, I want to highlight a couple things that he said. One of the commentators, whatever, one of those guys in the media, asked him about Lomachenko. Now, I really don't know why this dude brought up Lomachenko. It seems like they want Lomachenko to fight everybody. I don't get it, but whatever. I really don't know why. I think he's a Lomachenko, another dude. I don't know. I don't think he's been fighting. When was his last fight? I don't remember if his last fight was at 130. That's what I'm trying to say. When he fought Nakatani, that guy. I don't know. I don't think it was at 130. I think it was at 135. So who the heck knows what Lomachenko's going to do if he's going to go down to 130 again. His next fight against Comey, I think it's going to be at 135, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, that's why I don't know why the heck that media guy brought up Lomachenko. But anyways, what I love about Shakur Stevenson, man, he said, hey, I'll fight him too. Shakur will fight anyone, man. I don't think he's one of those guys that really wants to, he wants to go and fight, man. And as long as he keeps that fire, man, as long as Shakur Stevenson keeps that fire, congrats to him. He's going to get a beautiful baby soon. He just got to keep that fire, ladies and gentlemen. The true test is when you're on the top, ladies and gentlemen. Shouts out to Canelo, man. He said that recently in a video. On an interview. I pushed that video also on some certain things that he said in an interview that I really liked what he said, certain things. And he said, he was asked about, being on top. And he said the hardest thing to do is, stay on top. Once you're on top, staying on top. How many times have we seen, ladies and gentlemen, people who get their belts, these fighters who get their belts, and all of a sudden they just start getting, living that, wild life, partying, gaining weight, and just whatever. Y'all know what it is, getting complacent. Hopefully Shakur doesn't fall into that. Hopefully he keeps the fire. Hopefully he stays on his A game, man. Because this guy is a freaking force to be reckoned with that I don't know who can beat him. You got some potential names, Valdez, yes, but I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon, ladies and gentlemen. I see Shakur on top for a long while. I love it. I love it. And if he moves up to 135, oh my word, this is going to be awesome. But we'll see. Man, shouts out to Herring. Shouts out to Shakur Stevenson. Amazing performance to the new champ. Class in session. He just brought a beautiful lesson on that night. Oh, I loved it. I loved every second. comment in the comment section. Thanks so much, man, for tuning in. Renee Boxing on the platform. We simply discuss, critique, analyze, simply talk about the sport of boxing in a level-headed, coherent, mature fashion. Hey, if you're a new listener, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I push the content and do my flash lives. I appreciate each and every one of you. Renee Boxing, peace out. Stay safe.